Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Quiet Time Podcast with Benny Fowler III and the man, Benny Fowler Jr. We are here. We are back today again to talk to you guys and just continue to share about things that we've learned and experienced throughout our lives and just giving back and serving other people. And today we're going to talk about making those complex situations simple in business, life, relationships. Sometimes the world is a complex place. Businesses can be complex. Teams can be complex. Just living your overall individual life can be complex. So we're going to talk about how to simplify that.
Well, that sounds like, maybe it's a simple conversation.
We'll try to make it one.
I don't know, man. It's like, as you pointed out, almost every situation you go in, there can be a lot of complexity. But one thing I always think about going in is the simple theory of one. Like, for example, I only carry one system with me. I don't carry 10. So if there's a real complex situation I'm looking at, pretty much starts with 3 or 4 simple things. Number 1, do I have the right information? Number 2, who's on the team? Number 3, how are we spending our time together? And what processes, methods, and tools are we using to see what we got to do and get to where we got to go? So I try to simplify everything. If I just think about, just coaching young kids, I only had like one simple offense, but it had multiple variations to it. And the variations grew as the maturity of the kids grew. So if I just said, I want to do a stack, go do stack. I just always stack the whole time. You go stack and, there's certain motions that you do offer, and that's all we did. So that's kind of how I think about simplicity and really looking at really big situations or really small situations, just trying to approach them in kind of a common way. And so no matter how complex the situation is, you can just bring it to some semblance of order, because you're not trying to do so many things at one time. You're just trying to set up the one thing and have everybody understand their parts in the basic system that we have.
Yeah, when it comes to complex problems, it's keep the main thing the main thing. Like, whatever the problem is, handle that problem first. And whatever the biggest problem is, to me, that's what you handle first. And the little problems might all be a part of that big problem. But yeah, it's about just having a simple system, and whatever system works best for you. And you said that you had a system, 3 key components right there. That makes it easy. You can bring that into any problem or any situation. Especially, I think that, to me, what I heard was the most important thing right there was having all the information. Sometimes we try to jump to conclusions, especially in relationships, or even if you want to go out there and try to do something by yourself, you try to jump to conclusions without all the information. And I think that's the number one thing in making a complex problem, or anything complex, simple. Just getting all the information, all the facts.
Well, I think that's true. And I think the other part of it is when you're in a team setting, that there are different players in the team. And in our case, in business, different functions on the team. You might have a product development guy, a marketing sales guy, a CEO. You might have an IT person. And sometimes you can have people that know all the things, but it's unlikely that one person will know everything. So I talked about the information. So each one of those players is going to bring a part of the system to the table that they understand. And I think that keeps it simple for me, with the idea that I don't have to know everything. I just have to basically set up the cadence that says, we're going to be together, and each of you brings your individual expertise to the table in order for us to make the whole come out right. So therefore, if I'm sitting there and I don't know anything about information technology or how to put an IT system in, the one thing I better be good at is listening to the person that does and taking advantage of his expertise. So this information will come from multiple different sources, multiple different functions where, different, there's a multidisciplinary set of people that have to do certain things in order to help the team progress. And what I've found in a lot of situations is the members of the team, some people will come in and dominate the scenario and others may not. So therefore, it makes a situation that should be simple more complex because there's just many things that we don't know because we don't do the simplest thing of listening to the skills and expertise of the people that are sitting around the table.
Yeah, when I hear you talk about that, it sounds like people just need to understand the importance of delegating responsibilities and understand the importance that they don't have to know it all. Sometimes I think we run into complex problems as people or even as businesses, or even as teams, because everybody feels like they got to do it all. And instead of just playing their role and bringing the information, like you said, that they know that they have and just sticking with that. So if you're a leader in any situation, how did you delegate responsibilities or how did you understand that better to make complex problems more simple?
Well, like I said before, I had these 4 principles: information, but I knew that the information was going to come to multiple sources. So remember, I'm only thinking about the system and the 4 things in it: the information, the infrastructure or team structure, the meeting cadence, and the methods and tools. And I used 3 or 4 of them to help me see or extract waste. So the simplicity for me was the 4 things that I knew that were required to run an organization. The other simple thing for me is I knew I had to take to the table was the abilities to listen and reason. So if I took the simplicity of the system, the 4 things I talked about, and the abilities to listen and reason to the table, there's not a lot that I have to put in my pocket or I have to carry with me because I know that I'm going to be in a situation where I can take advantage of the knowledge and skills that are sitting around the table. Now, the one word that I've heard you use a lot is that of delegation. And what I think is if I select the right people for the team, there's not a lot of delegation involved because they're going to take responsibility. And I don't know if I might be mixing this up a little bit, but this is kind of, how I'm thinking about it. It's like you select the team members and they all are professionals in their own right. And they probably just spent many, many years training and developing to be where they are, which is why they're selected to be where they are. So your first internal instinct has to be, these are skilled individuals which are required to perform at a different level. And so inside me, I know that they are innately wanting to be professional and good at what they do. And they demonstrated they should be selected for the team. So you know that they're going to be leading the way you want them to lead. That's why you select them for the team. Now, there might be times when you go through a series of days, weeks, months, and you say, okay, well, that's not working out too well. And you may have to ask someone to self-select out. But in my time being there, I don't know if I've ever, you can count on one hand how many times I've had to go and say to someone, hey, you can't be on my team because, you're not playing at a high level. The system in its simplicity allows people to use their talents. And we try to work on the simple idea of helping people succeed with the basic talents that they have.
Yeah, when I just talk about delegation, I talk about sometimes, leaders try to take on too much and they should just share their responsibilities because there are talented people within their organizations or teams to help them move up or faster along their progression. And I remember you telling me something like, we move forward faster together than combating each other. Sometimes there's a lot of combative things within conversation And really, we just trying to help. If we help one another rise up within a level or within a company, more can be achieved in a faster amount of time.
Yes. I mean, I think that the biggest challenge we talk about is that whole philosophy of working together.
Yeah, working together makes things simple.
Yeah. If you can get the team to come together, they know their role and they've been together with the team to understand. So, there's certain things that's kind of like you can look and check with each other, I mean, when I played basketball across from my wing partner, we had played together for a couple of years. It's almost like I would just say, if I do my head this way, I'll do a little bob or weave, I want you to come across and I'm going to set a pick for you. And, it's just little things like that you can come together as just making these simple things work for you. You know what the playbook is, you know what the coaches want you to do, but there's little subtle things when you get out there and you start working together where you say, okay, that's what they're doing, but we've seen this 1,000 times. And because you know each other well, you just anticipate. And you go from the mechanics of doing the repetitions every day to the instinctual nature of that gets freed up because you don't have to worry about the mechanical things anymore. And that's why I really like to stay with the simple things that we repeat many, many times through our meeting cadence and the way we work together. And then at a certain point, people's real talents and creativity come together because they're not sitting around making up stuff that they're going to talk about the next day. They're actually in the actual doing and working together and having fun. And rising to that level where you repeat it, where you can consistently win, really is formed around that simple idea of we have the information or the playbook or whatever you guys have, and everybody knows what the playbook is. They work it to the understanding, then they see what the defenses do, and then you start to go against them. And the best in the world, they react to certain things a different way, just depending upon what they see when they get out there. And that's why everything I do, I start off with very, very simple concepts. I say to everybody these 4 things, and then we just say, wherever we are today, you draw the line, here's where we are today. And we take the system and the steps together. And before we know it, we look back and we're raising up the trophies and hoisting up and having a championship. People say, how do you do that? Well, simplicity, simple things.
Well, there you have it, everybody. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, smart. I heard that one time, not keep it simple, stupid, but keep it simple, smart. And that's Benny Fowler Jr. on Keeping It Simple and Benny Fowler III, Keeping It Simple. Keep it simple, smart, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the Quiet Time Podcast. We look forward to seeing you guys soon.
All right. Talk to you soon.